So let's begin. Welcome to this UX UI webinar on the user experience and user interface. Today we'll tackle the impactful design, how impactful design is in everyday tasks, especially in your BI report. So let's start. All right, on the menu today, we have how we can improve user experience, analyzing their data. We will cover the basics of UX and UI. We also have some use case and example to illustrate key concept, and we'll discover a flexible approach tailored to your need. Here's our agenda for today. We'll go through each section. So with a quick introduction, then we'll jump into UX UI and then UX UI in the BI world. And then we'll talk about that tailored approach that we're offering. Of course, we have some little conclusion and then the question and answer section. But like I said, if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask them either in the chat or the Q&A section of Teams. Emile will keep an eye on those and we won't forget you. All right. Now it's time to introduce ourselves. I'm Marc-Philippe. I'm a director in analytics at SBI, and I focused in the front end of things in the last few years. And I'll let our data artist introduce himself.
Thank you. I'm Emile. I'm a BI consultant with a specialization in UX UI. To be honest with you, it's my first webinar I'm hosting in English. So as you can hear with my fabulous French accent, I used to work in France during 6-7 years as a data analyst and a business analyst, especially on UX UI project. Don't be surprised if I call Marc-Philippe MP. We call him by his nickname, so it will not be a third participant or a guest VIP. And yeah, last point, don't hesitate to contact us on LinkedIn to exchange more if you have some question after this webinar.
Exactly. To make it easy, we have our QR code right beside our picture. So reach out any way you feel comfortable. And I wouldn't be a real webinar with a little corporate section. So we got to introduce SBI. SBI, we're a consulting company created in 2009 with over 300 experts across the globe, with 10 offices total and 3 in North America. We have 3 main expertise, which is the data one, where you talk about dashboarding, database, and integration tool. We also have the enterprise performance management, which is more related to the finance and of thing. And the last one, the AI poll that we've created this year. Enough chit chat. Let's get into it. But we'll start with a little backstory of how we got here today with our presentation with you. Everything started with some colleague with an affinity with design, so we would get together, share experience, discuss a new trend, new tool, and since we're an agnostic company, there's always a new tool coming out. So in the recent year, we had Power BI, strategy from MicroStrategy, we had Tableau, Click, and so on. So we had to discuss all the new trend, the new technical side of it. And something that came out of those discussions was the understanding of the user and the story he wanted to tell for the report. It made us get experience in business analysis by asking the right question and not just ask, hey, what do you want to see in your report? We had to really center the user in the middle of the report, really understand what he needed. And then we started to face problem. Not a big one, but still. For starters, since design always come at the end of the project, we had to deal with the remaining budget that we have. And that led us to have to hear from the user, well, I just want a few filter in a grid because I want to export it to Excel. And don't get me wrong, Excel is great. It's just its own thing. And well, I think it needs its own webinar, but that's a subject for another day. Finally, we would see a poor adoption from user because their report wasn't answering the right need or it was a little bit too designed. So we tried to create a little bit too much a website or an application. The tool was a bit too new. So let's remember the first time you opened Power BI, you felt a bit uncomfortable with it. So the adoption wasn't great and the user weren't buying in. All those factors created a chain where we could see the technical side of it and the business side and the UX UI standing side by side for better experience and adoption. The focus really had to be the user. The solution got to be adapted to them with a tool they felt comfortable with them. It's just like your kitchen. If you didn't design your kitchen, if it's not adapted to your need or skills, well, you wouldn't maximize your output. So you won't cook cake, you wouldn't cook a big steak on it or a nice cake. So that's pretty much the same thing. Well, I talked enough. I'll let Emile go over the basic of UX and UI.
Thank you, MP, for this introduction. In this section, we will focus on the definition of UX UI. We tried to create an interactive webinar, so based on a famous TV show, Who Want to Be a Millionaire. So you will have one question, 4 possible answers, and you have the possibility to write your answer in the comment section. So let's start. What is UX? So user experience. A, UX is a complete experience a user has with a product or service. B, UX covers the visual element of a product. C, UX is a development method focused on speed and flexibility. Or D, UX covers both mobile and web interaction. So you have 30 seconds. You write your comment in what your answer in the comment section. Only one possible answer. Unfortunately, we don't have any jokers, so you are on your own for this game. Okay, I see there is some answers. One answer stand out more than the other. Okay. Don't hesitate to write your answer in the comment section. And I give you few seconds before the right answer. And the right answer is A. UX is a complete experience a user has with a product or service. If you are on a website and you want to buy something, you need to open the website, navigate through the different pages, navigate through the different items, select one, choose a size, a color, and add it in your cart. So at the end, you will buy the product. So all these steps are the user experience from the beginning of just opening the application, the website, to the final action by something purchase an order. So to reach, to help the user to reach the final action, you need to think and help how it can be for the user to fit directly to the final action here. Okay, now we will see the second question. What is UI, user interface? Same rules. Answer A, the UI only concerns interaction and mobile and web, on mobile and web. B, the UI is development method that prioritize security and stability. C, the UI covers visual and interactive object for the user. And D, the UI covers the overall user experience with the product. Same rules, you have 30 seconds. Write your answer in the comment section. MP, do you have an ID maybe for this question?
I do think so. But I'll let people answer in the comment section. I'll
Yeah.
just remind them, and just like in the game, you can't call your mom on this. She won't be able to
Unfortunately,
help.
no. Unfortunately, no. Okay, here I can see there is some answer also. I give you few seconds. And the right answer is C. So the UI covers visual and interactive object for the users. So in your website, from the previous example, all the different objects like filters, menu navigation, buttons, graphics, all those objects where the user can interact with them are part of user interface. So you need when you are creating a a website, sorry, you need to think about all those objects on how the user will interact with them. So user experience and user interface will always
About that.
work together. But to sum it up, um, well, by the way, I really like this picture. Um, with a simple situation, with this example, you just want to add some ketchup on your hot dog. You can see that with two different solutions, so two different bottles. One of it is more difficult during the user experience, even if the bottle is great. So as you can see, for the first bottle, you need to tap on it to have some amount of quantity, maybe few, maybe too much, instead of the second one, so the second bottles, when you just need to squeeze on it to have the right amount of quantity of ketchup on your hot dog.
Yeah, hopefully next time you eat a hot dog, you'll think of us. And if the experience goes great, you'll think, ah, well, the UX is great here.
Clearly. So now let's continue with cognitive load. We will discuss processing information. Let's picture this. It's Saturday, you are at the mall, and it's plenty of people. You are doing some shopping, and you are at the second floor, and you can see at first floor there is a colleague. We'll call him Michael. Michael is at the first floor, but honestly, you don't have the energy to find him and discuss it with him. You just want to go to finish your shopping and go home, but you want to stock this information and bring back. So Monday at office and tell him, "Oh, I saw you. What did you do this Saturday?" But let's deep dive with the subject of the cognitive load. Picture this that your brain is a picture. So in this picture, it's the available capacity of your working memory. When you will open a new application, a mobile app, a report in BI, you will add some cognitive load inside this picture. There is three pillars in the cognitive load. First of it is intrinsic load. It's linked to all the complexity you can have on your analysis. For example, you're opening an application in finance, so you will see a lot of line increasing, decreasing, a lot of average line, target lines, different information. It's too much, but it's all the information you need to have and understand before starting your analysis. With a simple example, on an algebra equation, you need first to read the context to start your analysis and find the solution. Extraneous load is linked to all the aesthetical stuff you can find in your solution, so in your application. I think you all remember the all early 2000s website with some violet background, some yellow text, different animation, something appearing, something disappearing. It was a mess. At that time, it was great. The developer used the different functionalities they have to create a website, but it was difficult to read the information. So the goal is to reduce all the disturbing information from your application. Finally, German load is all the different structure and schema you will create in your application, in your report, that will help the user to identify clearly the different information he need to read first. So all those three points, all those three pillars, sorry, are part of the cognitive load. So the goal is to minimize the cognitive load in your picture to have more space for your capacity of analysis. If the cognitive load is higher than your picture, you will just have a headache and you will just stop your analysis. So once again, you need to really focus on the cognitive load to reduce the size to have more capacity for your analysis.
I really like that picture metaphor, and it also makes me think of my computer. If, for example, I have my browser open with multiple tabs in it, I have two Power BI open, six Excel, and I have music coming out of I don't know where. It tend to get slow, and that's pretty much a cognitive load, but for my computer. Um, on this topic, you have like a more applicable example for our reporting need?
Yeah, and I will tell you one thing, less is more. Um, with this representation, as you can see, we have a graphic with a lot of information, a lot of background, a lot of value, a lot of bold. The goal is to use the principle of data ink ratio. So keep the main key information and remove all the unnecessary information from your graphic. So as you can see, from the beginning, it was difficult to read, and after some different steps, removing different labels, bolds, background, colors, etc., we reduce the cognitive load, but we kept the main key information of your graphic.
And now against that Helvetian Pokemon are way up front.
I don't know what this analysis is, but it's a great representation of it.
All right, that's a nice bridge for our next section.
Yes, in this new section, we will deep dive on UX UI design, especially for business intelligence. When you are creating a new report during your workshop, you need to focus on different key concepts. Um, First of all, is audience. Who are your users? Is it an executive team? Is it an analytical team? How many times they will open the report? Once a week, once a month, each days? Um, how many times they have to study their data? Do they have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 seconds, 30 seconds maybe also, 30 minutes? So all those questions with all those questions during your workshop, you will have the possibility to adjust the level of granularity of information you are giving in your report. Second point is colors. Um, it's important to use some neutral colors in your report. And when you want to highlight an information, when you want to create some alerting, you can use one specific colors in this situation, and not. It's a common example. If your organization color is green, use too much green in all your application. Third point is the structure. As we discussed uh, with German load, it's important to create a structure, a schema on your report. For example, at the top, you will have all the filters after the KPIs and finally all the different graphics. If you reuse all this structure in the different pages across your report, it will help the user to identify clearly the different information. Finally, graphics. It's a key concept also. You have plenty of graphics, different kind of graphics, comparison, distribution, and repartition, and it's really important to choose the right one. Even when you choose, you select one graphic, depend on your question, how you want to show the information. Um, Maybe you need to um, sort your information by region in an analytical way order, or maybe with the value increasing or decreasing. So all those questions are really mandatory when you want to create a new report during your workshop. But it can also be during an audit when you want to create a new version of an existing application. And so yeah, it will create a more fit experience for your users.
I think those four concepts are pretty straightforward. Well,
Yeah.
the way you explain it and maybe with your experience. But you have a use case for us so we can see what you do like the before and after.
For sure, we have something, we have an example. Um, we used to work with a client on a project, but before anything, I will MP just ask you, what do you feel about, what do you think about this report?
Oh, before I go, if you guys have any comment on it, don't hesitate to comment in the chat or the Q&A.
Yeah,
We'll have feedback on this. But for me, at first glance, I'm not sure what to look at, right? There's a KPI one on the right, and then we go back on the left. There's a lot of numbers. For sure, they want to uh, keep track and monitor their KPIs, but I'm not sure where they're going at without knowing the concept of the report.
yeah, exactly. To give you more context, this was a report, an existing report in development phase, but it wasn't available for all the users. Um, Honestly, we have all the information the user need to analyze, but we don't know what is the main information, what is how to read this report. So as you can see, this is a before, and we have an after to show you. We rework this report, and with this new version, as you can see at the top, we kept the menu navigation with page 1, page 2, page 3. But for page 1, we split the information in two different analyses. In this first analysis, as you can see, we only kept KPI 1, 2, 3, and 4, as 2, 3, and 4 are part of KPI 1. As we said, less is more. It's better to focus on one part of your message to communicate the different information to the user in a better user experience. Um, After some workshop, we identify with the key users that the main information here was the percentage, so the evolution. So that's why you can find those KPIs, those percentage at the top of your report. And if you, the user, want to have more information, for example, in KPI 2, you can see that we have actual value, minimal, target, ideal, and also a gauge to represent all this information. With this structure, we use it for KPI 3 and 4, but also the same structure on analysis 2 and in all different pages across this report.
Yeah, I think it's great. It flows more clearly, right? It's really top to bottom, sorry. And then that structure, if you reuse it across the page, it'll diminish the germane load, right? And I guess you kept the color, you kept the same little visual at the bottom, the gouge, so the user wouldn't be too lost, right? So you
Exactly.
keep you lower the change management.
Yeah, exactly. So
Uh, in other words, what are the benefits of those change?
yes. The benefit of using user experience and user interface question during your development phase in your report will give you a better change management. Why? Because the user will be more comfortable with this new tool and will accept and adopt this new version, this new application, and they will maybe give you some feedbacks, some possible evolution, and this report, this new application will live more with second version, with third version. So with this user experience and user interface, you will have a sustainable report at the end.
Well, that's great. So we're there now. It's all fun and games, the UI, the UX, the cognitive load, but how does it work? What's under the hood, and how do we propose we can help you with? So we've divided our approach in two main ideas. So we do have the audit and quick wins, which is made from the end audit. So basically, we work with you. We know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So sorry for that Western reference. I had to do it. And we also propose training. So the training is also with the technical tool. So if we say Power BI, then we have developer specific training, but we also have the UI UX training. where we can show you how to create template, mockups, and so you'll have those prototype. That's why we have the mockup proposal, where we work with you to create something that you'll feel good with and that the user will use it too. And then we have the optimization acceleration. That part is for existing projects. So if you have any like a lot of report and you want just to improve them, make them more reliant and more advanced, that's where we come in with some advanced UX and UI tips and tricks. If you want to redo your color scheme or anything like that. And we also propose Project Accelerator, which means that we do have some templates that are ready to plug and play. So we can focus on on the analysis of things and the KPIs and everything instead of playing with shapes and colors. And that approach is customizable for your need. So we really can take what you need. For example, you can start with training and then we can follow up with the workshop where we go with you and then we train your user or anything like that. And then we can have the audit and mock-up creation and the creation of the report that really will solve your issue there.
So MP, is it possible to select only one on two step, for example?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. Because if you only need the assessment workshop and the audit, that's something we can do. And then if later on you just need help with the report, then we can interfere. Really want to work with you on this topic because it got to really be adapted to the user. We are reaching the end of the webinar. Hopefully you've learned one or two things. Let's say less is more, to be careful with the amount of information that you have in your report. Hopefully you remember the difference, the UI and the UX. Next time you the hot dog, that we have a flexible approach tailored to your needs. And if you have any question, call us BI and we'll be there to help you along the way. I almost forgot. Wouldn't be a real design webinar presentation without a quote from Stephen Few, who is like the godfather of design here. So number have an important story to tell. They rely on you to give them a clear and convincing voice. We hope you have a great rest of the day. If you have any question, don't hesitate. You can reach us either by email, LinkedIn, or QR code are there. So don't hesitate.
Yeah, don't hesitate to contact us on LinkedIn to exchange more. If you have some question, we'll get the time on LinkedIn.
All right. Thank you again. So we have time for all the questions that you have. So we can go over them.
Don't hesitate to write your questions in the comment section. Okay.
Oh, I see that we have one from Christophe Balmy. Which expertise you need inside the company to improve report? You need a designer. Emile, do you want to tackle this one?
Go ahead.
Well, what you really need is a good understanding of your data. And then for the rest of it, well, you can call us and we can come in, pitch some mockup, work with you to create a new design, some prototype. But if you don't master your data, we won't be able to create that story that you want to tell. So that's really important that the users are involved and that the expertise on the business side of it is present. And then if you want to go further, then we have that training available for you guys. I have another question here. What can you do if your brand colors don't work well together? Emil, you want to take that one?
Yeah. On the colors, as we discussed, don't be pressured by your company to use all the different colors you have. You can rework them maybe in a different way. And yeah, it's better to use some natural colors and use the different colors for highlighting, for alerting, and yeah.
Exactly. And you got to think about the users too. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, but they are really at the center of it. And if you have part of your user that are colorblind, well, you got to think about it too.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
I have another question here. Oh, okay. We have another question from
When to use a
Palavi.
monochromatic color scheme palette and when to use multicolor palette, how do you handle special cases like color blindness? So yeah, monochromatic color is better when you want maybe to show an evolution on a map of your KPI, for example, to show that in one region on the number of sales is higher than the other region, you can use this monochromatic color. But for multicolor palette, I don't know how to say that, it's a difficult word. It's better to use if you want to compare different regions, different categories, for example, a blue, a yellow, a red, a violet. So some vivid colors in this kind of representation. For color blindness, sorry, cases, it's good. It's a good practice to replace the usual green and red by blue and orange. It can give to the user more a better read of the different colors.
And we've talked a little bit about this earlier. Colors should be used as a highlighting tool. If you add too much color, well, we won't know where to look at. A little bit like the use case we showed earlier, where we had a lot of numbers, we had gouge and everything. If you add load to your report with colors, well, it won't. The indicator that you want to create won't be as important as you would like. Okay, so we have another one. Do you have limitation depending on the BI platform used? This one is tricky because all of it depend on your know-how, let's say, or your technical skills with those tools. But if I think about Power BI, strategy, Tableau, Click, or anything, you can pretty much mount to the same result. You just need the time to work on it and understand where you're going.
Okay, I think we don't have much more question. Thank you very
So
much. I
thank you.
hope you enjoy this moment. And if you have
And
some question, don't hesitate to contact us on LinkedIn.
yeah, have a great day, guys. Bye.